Hey, what's up? This is Mike from Below the Wolf, and today I'm going to be putting some new speakers in my Peavey 5150 cabinet. Okay, so the speakers I'm going to be putting in are these warehouse guitar speakers. This is the Reaper HP50. So bear with me, I'm going to tell you a little story here about how I ended up with this cab and why I chose these speakers. So this is just for those of you who might be on the same sort of path that I'm on, looking to change out some speakers and thinking about the different options. So maybe you have a similar story as I do. So the reason I bought this cab to begin with is that according to my research, the 5150 cab was designed for Eddie Van Halen and was based off of his Marshall 1960 AX cab, which has the Celestian greenbacks in them. Again, that's according to my research. If you know something else, please feel free to let me know. Anyway, the Marshall 1960 AX cabinet, I really like that cabinet. I've had the opportunity to play that cabinet at the Below the Wolf rehearsal room, and I like the way it sounds a lot. So I was thinking about swapping out these speakers for actual Celestian greenbacks. Do I have a problem with these speakers that are in here, the Sheffields? Yeah, they're a little thin sounding. They're like a little too scooped for my taste. I don't really notice so much like when I just plug in this cab and play, but I was going back and looking at some of the old videos, the video where I compared this cab to the Randall over here with the vintage 30s, and there's something about the speakers in here. Like I said, very scooped, not a lot of mids. The highs can be a little bit harsh, especially when you're tremolo picking, which in my music I do a lot of tremolo picking, and so yeah, these speakers just aren't really good for my music. I was thinking about going with the greenbacks. I was thinking about buying some actual Celestian greenbacks, and I was on YouTube and I found a guy did a video where he was comparing Celestian greenbacks to warehouse guitar speakers. That's how I found these speakers to begin with. He was comparing them to what they call the Green Beret, which is like their version of the greenback. And I really liked the way the Green Beret sounded. So I was doing some research on warehouse guitar speakers, and they have like a lot of different speaker lines. They have what's called the Veteran 30, which is their version of the Vintage 30. Just a lot of different speakers. So I actually emailed the company, Warehouse Guitar Speakers, kind of explained what kind of music I play, told them that I was interested in the Green Beret, and asked them what they recommended for the type of music that I play. They recommended the Veteran 30 or the Reaper. And so then I went back to YouTube and I was watching all kinds of videos on either the Veteran 30 or the Reaper, and I liked both of them, but I figured since my cabinet over here, the Randall over here, has vintage 30s, I figured why don't I just go with something just completely different, a speaker that's not really trying to model after another speaker, just kind of doing its own thing, and that's how I ended up with the Reaper HP50. So before I take these speakers out and put these in, I'm going to record some riffs and then put in the Reapers and then record some riffs again so you guys can hear the difference. Now as far as the mic position on this Peavey cab, I'm just going to do the bottom two speakers because again, I went back, I watched the video where I demoed this cab, and the bottom two speakers sounded the best. So, and this top speaker up here sounds like garbage, so not even going to waste your guys' time with listening to all the speakers. Let's just hear the two best speakers in this cabinet, and then we'll listen to the Reaper. One final note. A very observant gentleman, I should have written down your name, and I'm sorry I didn't, but notice that this is not, well, he was like, this isn't a Peavey 5150 cab. It is. Here's the original logo that I took off because this one looks much cooler and it also matches this one, and I can't have things that don't match. That will not work for me. And here's the little 5150 badge that came off the bottom corner here. So yeah, it's a genuine 5151 cab. It's a 5150 cab. Really appreciate your attention. You're a good student. You get an A for the day. All right, so let's play some metal. Well, that definitely made a difference. Let's talk first about the speakers out of the mix. So when I listened to the guitar tracks in solo, I thought that the Peavey, the Sheffields, scooped mids, lots of highs, a little bit too much high end on, in my opinion, like fizz or scrapey sounding, especially on the tremolo picking, which is something I've noticed about these speakers from the beginning. So nothing new there. The Reaper, definitely fuller sounding, balanced in terms of like high, mid, low, even sounding, pleasing, nice mids. The mids are there and they sound good. Now let's get to the mix here, because As opposed to like guitar pickup comparisons that I've done in the past, it's like in the mix you can't really tell, but outside of the mix you can. Here I felt like the opposite was true. Like out of the mix, I thought the Peavey speakers, like, you could tell the difference, but they didn't necessarily sound bad. But then in the mix, the Peavey sounded thin, almost quiet, almost like washed out. And then the Reapers were just like full sounding, a lot of punch cut right through the mix. Everything that you notice about them in solo, you can notice in the mix too, because they pop out of the mix. So I'm very happy with this purchase. I think the Reapers sound great. If you're in the market for, swapping out your speakers and you want to do something other than the vintage 30s, or you're just looking for something different, I would highly recommend the Warehouse guitar speakers. This is the Reaper HP50. Great speakers. If you like this video, you found it helpful, please subscribe to the channel. If you have questions or comments, please leave them below.